Emotionally unavailable.
Welcome to Emotionally Unavailable, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of emotional availability and intimacy. I'm your host, Melissa Hepner, and I can't tell you how excited I am to have you join me on this journey of self-discovery and connection. Whether you're navigating the complexities of relationships or exploring your own emotional landscape, this podcast is here to inspire, empower, and entertain. So get cozy and let's explore the depths of human emotions together. Hello, all. Welcome to the shit show that is my Friday episode. I have completely forgotten to get this out today. My bad. Definitely not the way to do things, but things are kind of hectic right now because Charlie is having her 11th birthday party tomorrow, and part of what she wanted was a room transformation. This baby's been dreaming about this room for about 5 months now, and I was trying to make that dream a reality. So between that and trying to get the house ready for a party, which if you know me isn't something I normally do. I haven't had a home party since Charlie was 1 year old. So I don't do this. I don't invite people into my home. This is definitely something I'm doing intentionally to grow through this weirdness that I have about people judging my house. And there's going to be a lot to judge because I am not trying to make it perfect. I don't have the energy for that. And so there's going to be some dirt and non-perfection, and that's that. Her room going to be perfect though because she's so happy. Anyway, all right, so today's guest is Fran Bailey. Fran Bailey's extensive training in dancing combined with energy healing has evolved into a simple method for evolving the mind, body, heart, and soul. Since 2002, Fran has channeled her passion in the Shiva method, seeking harmony in energy, voice, and action. This process resets your system to restore with practical techniques to live more consciously through energetic awareness. She is thrilled to share this work used in years of client consultations in emergence to offer clarity, distinction, and balance. I had such a good time with Fran. She was just such a good conversationalist. I just felt really connected in our conversation. But it's not like that's an unusual thing for me, but I sure the hell do appreciate people who get on here and get real with me. There's no canned answers. I'm working on actually inviting a couple of I don't know, we'll say celebrities or whatever. But, I hesitate to do that. Bella, stop. Sorry, my dog's making all this noise. I hesitate to do that because I just know that they're more guarded. And I just love having these people who are willing to drop their walls with me. And Fran certainly did that. I hope that you love this conversation. I'm going to see if there's anything else. Okay, so she studied with world-renowned energy healer Rosalyn Bruyere, resulting in awakening in the metaphysical aspect of her life. For 12 years, Fran worked as an energy healer for the Alliance Institute for Integrative Medicine under Drs. Steve and Sandi Amoils in Cincinnati, Ohio. Subsequently, Fran began developing her meditation and psychic skills with noted psychic healers John Friedlander and Gloria Hemsher, authors of the definitive books Basic Psychic Development of the Psychic Psychology, and Psychic Psychology. So she knows her shit, man, and she moves in a way like she knows her shit, and I just really appreciate that about her. And she was wearing some phenomenal jewelry, as you will hear. Anyway, great conversation. I will say I gave things a quick listen through. I have heard, for sure, some echo here and there, so it's not horrible, but it is what it is. So I just have had a crazy week, and I don't have time to edit this shit. So real and raw coming at you. All right, we'll see y'all later. Have a fabulous Friday, a wonderful weekend. I love you. I'll see you Monday.
Emotionally unavailable.
Good. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you for asking. Okay. I'm trying to exit out some browsers so that possibly I don't run into any internet issues. Well, Fran, I'm gonna be really honest. I don't even remember how we connected.
Well,
just
maybe
those mornings.
Kathy, maybe Kathy Kathy Mason? No. Who knows?
Did we meet on Threads?
No, I don't. I probably I have somebody that watches, that.
Oh, that kind of helps you make
Yeah,
those
yeah,
connections?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
obsessed with your jewelry.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, that necklace is gorgeous. What is in the center?
It's just a little like an orange stone or something.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, and your
you.
glasses. Look at you. You are so cute.
I try, honey. At this age, you gotta try.
Okay, well, what do you want to talk about today, sister?
Well, whatever. So what's your main? I was watching some of your videos with different. Is this video or audio?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But except I'll just be really real with you. I just started posting the video not that long ago, and it is very time intensive. So the video gets put up when the computer wants to cooperate and actually upload at a reasonable rate of speed. And not time out 35 times. And I had one episode, I guess I'm just not going to be able to do the video because it was ridiculous. It was like so many hours, and then it never actually uploaded to YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I guess you guys just weren't meant to be on there. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the audio is released on a very set schedule, but video, just whatevs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you know anything about what I do or what?
I don't remember. I'm just being very honest, like, because I looked for a pod match profile thinking maybe that's where we scheduled, but I didn't see anything. So I'm just not sure. I don't know what you do, sis.
Oh, okay. Well, I was basically grew up as a dancer. My parents were musicians and dancers, and I grew up in a metaphysical home, and
Ooh, lucky,
very lucky, and
seriously
had this spiritual awakening very young age, near-death experience at 12, went to a Christian Science camp and realized that it's not about me. There's something else beyond me that brings in information.
Yeah.
And so kind of with that and my dance career and understanding energy and music and understanding that I didn't have to use this to communicate, that there was a whole nother world around that. And so then I started studying with, I was teaching, are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay. I was teaching at a Montessori school. And one of the parents, I would have the parents come and dance with the kids, and I choreographed this whole thing for them. And one of the parents was a doctor, and he said, "You can see energy." And I went, "Really?" Although I've been doing it all my life, I didn't know it. And he wanted me to train with one of his healers out of California, and
wow,
I started working at an alternative center with him, and realized
talk
that
about the butterfly effect. My God.
Yeah. So basically, it opened up what I've already known.
Right.
And I continued on that path, did deep meditation, learned more about my own abilities, medical, intuitive, psychic abilities. And I started my method in 2002 called the Shiva Method. Seeking harmony and energy, voice, and action. That was channeled to me.
I love that.
And yeah. And then, I was basically doing energy work, learning about it, doing it on myself. And then my dad died of cancer. And then the emotional impact, I have 3 small children, my husband wasn't around, and I got cancer.
Oh gosh. Around that, like soon after your dad died?
Year after.
Oh my God, Fran.
Very,
what the
very,
hell?
yeah. So I think it's very clear that the body does respond completely, and no matter what it is. And so of course it was stage 4 cervical cancer, first, second chakra, survival, creativity, all those things. And then the doctor said, well, you need to take everything out because you're going to die. I went, no, I'm not. So I had another opinion, and I said, I'm not taking everything else out. I'm going to work on them myself. Found a female doctor, said, you don't have to take everything out. We might have to do some procedures. And I said, okay, this is what I do. This is what I'm going to do every day. I'm going to put my hands on that area and say that I'm whole, say that I'm clear. I'm going to kill the cancer cells and understand that this is an interruption in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that I will heal myself. So I would go back every 3 months and get checked. And for 5 years, I did 3 months, 3 years, and then 6 months, 2 years. And I was clean, completely clean.
Wow.
So that's where the method started really, okay, if I can do this on myself, I'm going to teach people how to run energy on themselves, understand that cancer or whatever is an interruption in your life, you will heal.
Yeah.
So basically the method is about doing body work. For all my dance work and energy work, I designed a body work. Then I designed and very, very deep meditation to clear the chakras. So I work with all the chakras. And understand where your guides are, where your cords are, where your karma's releasing, how you release it. Then I studied the Enneagram, which is the third component of the work.
I've never done very much work with the Enneagram.
It's pretty cool.
I wanted to. I'm trying to remember. I've taken the damn quiz like 3 times.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably making this up, but I feel like it was a 3-wing 4 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. 3. Yeah.
I feel like that's what it was, but I could be wrong. I don't remember because it's been a long time, because I was like, oh man, I just don't, the pieces of it didn't, like, I could say like, oh, that's a very good description of me, but it never made sense. Like all of it didn't come together well for me, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, it takes, to look at ourselves, it's hard to look at ourselves and say, oh, that's resistant, this is where I'm resistant, and that's where I'm looking at my patterns, and that's where I hold, and that's like, okay, that's the impetus in which my ego rolls. So each of us have head, heart, or body type, but we navigate through a certain specific kind of type.
Yeah.
So it really helps for the loopholes, the little catches of the ego that come in and put us in a downward slope. So
right.
Anyway, but energetically, I can see with the type of how they're holding their body, what they're holding to, and I'm there to suggest how do you let that go, and how do you see beyond the loop.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating because it is the body, mind, and heart, all of it. And
yes,
like for instance, a 6, type 6 is a head type, and they run their energy in their head. So when I look at them, they're all up here. They're just all in So
okay, so that's what you mean when you say you can see their energy, where they're running it. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, do you mind telling me what you see from me?
Well, I could see a 3-4, but you have a big energy. So I also see an 8.
Really?
Which is the body type, which is they're leaders, they're comfortable, they are they're defenders.
Mm-hmm.
So an A can go to 4 or a 2. So I'm a 2, which is the helper, the giver, all that stuff. So I have a 3-wing. So they're the workers. They're the ones that this is what they do. This is how they work. They're very clear about what they do. It's not.
Yeah, because it could have been a 4-3 that I was like a 4 with a wing 3 or whatever.
So and the
Would
fours
that
are.
make sense? Would that make more sense than a 3-4 for me? Do you think?
I don't know. I'd have to kind of.
Yeah, sorry, not to put you on the spot.
Yeah. Well, the 4, if you identify with a 4 or a 3, the 3 is all about the work. They're the heart type, but they're very passionate about their work. And the 4,
that resonates for sure.
the 4 has the drama. They like drama. They're the artists. They're the ones that, need more. It's not enough, but they need more. They need more validation. They need to understand
that. That could be me. Shit. I mean, it definitely was at one point.
Right. And we do wise up. We do change. We do shift. It's just a tool.
Yeah.
That is very helpful at times. Really helpful.
People don't understand too. Whatever tool that you need to help you like connect with your spirit, do that. But I find that people are very reluctant to grow that part of them. Don't you? It's like there's a lot of fear. I feel like, and I get it because I was raised in Oklahoma. I'm still here, so I get like the misconception about spirituality. But like, I feel like they think they feel like I'm asking them to go like create an altar and sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't understand the hesitance to like purify this area of ourselves,
Well, it's the resistance and the fear.
Yeah.
So there's the resistance is in pain. The resistance is in, holding back to what is really there.
Yeah.
And they don't want to see necessarily what's really there. But the funny thing is, if they open up, they'll see the beauty of themselves.
Yes.
The importance of themselves. So, that's the whole method is about self-love and self-healing and believing in your own abilities and trusting the fact that you have the ability and that you are okay and that you are whole, and that's to get that inspiration and that fire going within them is part of the joy for me.
Yes.
I can heal just like, nobody's business, but it's not going to hold unless you hold it.
Right.
Unless you do it.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah. It's really, really important because I've seen it so many times where they don't take the responsibility or accountability for their actions or their responses.
Right.
And then they come back and they come back and they come back and they repeat and repeat. And maybe that's all they need. But
I think that we as humans really I know for myself, this has been my experience where and it was probably just last week even that I was like, where's this block in me? Because I know it's there. Where is it? And I think I'm still kind of lying underneath that fear that was created in me around religion, where, I was taught I am born unworthy. I will never be worthy. And it is my, purpose on this earth to go do these things from a place of no worth. And that there was a consequence or reward system. It was never you are everything you need. You have everything you need. And so when I was thinking about it last week, I was like, yeah, I think I'm still bracing and guarded, waiting to be punished or shown that I'm not doing this correctly. You know what I mean? Like just really holding myself back, waiting for permission, waiting for validation, not from people, from some sign from the universe saying like you're on the right track, or so maybe what I would have wanted from people before, I'm now, this is actually real time realization, because I haven't talked about it and I process with talking, but what I wanted from humans before, I think I'm now asking the universe to do, like, because I'm believing that the reason I haven't manifested the financial success that I want and believe is mine is because the universe is trying to teach me first, or I didn't do it correctly. That's all. Like, I'm just not doing it correctly, which in some ways is true because there's a block here that I'm working through. But like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like the way I used to have this relationship with the God that I was taught about as a child. Like, please just don't punish me too hard. Please, can I please have this thing? Or please help me, please help me, please help me, So I kind of think some people go to people like us from that place. Like, maybe they've moved on from this part, but they think that people like us hold the power. Like, we have information, we have tools, we have gifts, but they have all the power they need within them, and they don't get that. And I remember being that person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, what's in the way is the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
God, what a beautiful way to put that.
It because that's what I see energetically looking at you. So,
that's funny because I keep saying resistance keeps us stuck, because that's the part I keep hearing in my head.
So if you look at that as a window, a door open rather than a door closed, and you allow yourself to really know that you're allowed to be here and that you are truly loved, you just have to know that within.
Right.
But also, it's like all that energy is, I say this to clients, all that energy you put in a relationship that's not working for you is the same principle as saying all that energy you put into that thought or that pattern, is that working for you?
Right. Obviously not.
So if you just say, okay, you're allowed to leave, like it's a nuisance guide that keeps hitting you and hitting you and hitting you, it's a nuisance. That's a nuisance energy that blocks you.
Yeah.
Pulls you away from where you want to go. So the door is open to where you want to go. Don't close it.
But how do I integrate that? How do I release this energy and then move forward in the energy I'm supposed to be in? Do you understand my question?
Yeah. So, I mean, there are all kinds of ways. There's meditation, they're looking at your chords. If we did a session, I can see where the blocks are and possibly suggest where they might be. But an important thing is that when you are looking at yourself and focusing in on what's missing, what's in the way, and how do I get there if I let go? What if I just let go and allow?
Yeah, and I no, that really resonates. And I have felt like that's what I'm doing. Like, because I started this entrepreneur journey full time in August once, like, because I was in education before. So I left the job, and throughout that summer, I still had an income, but I say August because that's when like the shit hit the fan, and that I really had to like get income, right? And I started a little private practice. But I've always known I didn't want the one-on-one therapy to be really the biggest part of what I'm doing. I've always wanted it to be the smallest, always. Well, but that was the one sure way to make money. So at first I was like, blah, 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 trying as hard as I could. And then as the business picked up, I was like, I don't want this, because I It happened. I came out after an evening session and my entire family was in bed and it made me so sad. I was like, I don't want to do this again. So I cut back availability immediately. I mean, it had only been 2 weeks, but I was like, see, I'm not going to go through some burnout period to stop doing this. I'm just going to do it now before I ever get there. Right. So I cut back my availability. I made my schedule as if I was as successful as I want to be right then. I've always maintained this framework of a schedule. And I love that schedule. But as I've kind of learned to lean into my feminine, there's just been so many awakenings and lessonings like along the way, right? And I've learned to flow and not try to control every fucking thing and all the things. And I feel like I'm doing that. Like a friend of mine the other day was like, because I did a keynote speech not that long ago and I was really excited and so proud of myself. And that's really where I want a lot of my energy to go, is speaking. And so she's like, we were walking a half marathon and she's like, well, what do we, she's real masculine. So she's like, what do we do next? How do we get you? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not feeling called to masculine the fuck out on this and go try to do a lot to get there. I feel the same call that I have felt since the switch flipped, which is do it as it, like, I can't know 16 steps ahead. The next step is the next step. So I do that all the time. Like if an idea comes to me, I'll work with it. And then if it ends up being shit, it's shit and that's fine. But I'm like, how much more do I allow? Like I'm allowing, but I get caught in that allow, chase, attract, I guess is really the better way for me to frame that. But I'm trying so hard to just like live in this. I know I'm fundamentally supported and I am fine. Like, I think I get caught in this too, like where I'm like, I mean, these might just be the lessons I'm supposed to learn for now, or, whatever. I never know. Like, am I on the right track? I mean, I do know, but when you start to question things,
Well, there's that. Have you ever seen Stop It? Have you ever seen that thing with Bob Newhart called Stop It?
Oh
God, it's so funny. So it's a great expression. So this is talking.
Mm-hmm.
This is leading. If I say if this is leading, what do you feel?
My heart? I mean, I feel peace in my heart with everything, if that makes sense.
So do those decisions come from the heart or come from the head?
I bet you can answer that. Okay. That makes me feel so much better, honestly, because I do feel good about the way I'm doing things. I really do. I feel like I'm on track. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, but you know how it is. People say shit and I'm like, I guess, yeah. I guess I should be working harder, but I'm like, I'm working fucking hard. Like but I work within my frame, like what I have to give that day. That's the other thing, is learning to work with my own energies. The energetic cycles is like, if I don't feel like it right then, I'm not fucking doing it. I just really try to be like, what do I need right now? Not what can I do? What do I need? And if I'm good to do the things I need to do, then I do the things I need to do. But I have to go to me first. I spent 44 years not taking care of myself.
Right. And that, totally get that. But we do slip. We're human.
Mm-hmm.
We do get attracted to the thought, and the thought pulls us away from what is really there. So the question is, I'll tell you what really helps me. And I say this to my clients. I want you to lay on the floor and I want you to put your hands right here at your heart, like this. So you're actually running energy into the heart chakra.
Wait, I can't see your hand. Are you talking about like this?
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. Whoops. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
So the fingertips are into the sternum.
Okay.
So you're taking a deep breath and you're running energy into the back too. And you're letting go of, this is the heart chakra, right?
Yeah.
We're also running energy into the back, and the lungs hold grief.
Oh, that makes sense to me. Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we're all holding grief. The world is, but that impacts our lungs. So taking a breath and just letting go and laying on the floor, and ask yourself the question, what do I need to do for me today?
Mm-hmm.
Don't answer it. Don't answer it. Don't answer it. Let your body respond.
I love that.
The body responds first before you attack and analyze what has to be, what should be, and what ought to be.
I love that. Yeah. It makes so much sense to me. Yes, because again, we do have everything we need inside of us, but we love to use this brain. We love to use this brain to overanalyze. I mean, honestly, that is the reason that my show is called Emotionally Unavailable, because I had no idea that we're all walking around intellectualizing every ounce of our experiences until we learn how to experience feelings and connect with our bodies. I didn't know. I mean, I've told this story a lot on the show, but I remember the first time driving down the road and finally doing a grounding technique that worked for me, because I got way too much going on up here. I can't do some of the traditional stuff. And when it worked, I felt a drop from my head down into my body. It was the first time. I couldn't tell you before then if ever I had been connected to my body. I think I left it a bajillion years ago. I experienced a lot of trauma, and I just was very survive. And I started to cry because it was such a moving feeling.
Right.
I had never felt that ever. And I like in my head, it said like, welcome home. Like, I'm home.
Right.
You know?
Right. So that's a great technique. It just brings it right back into the place where that place is home.
Yes. Well, and I even like whenever you said if you're connecting here versus here, like you just have to remind yourself, once you're understanding how to connect with your body, I do just need to remind myself, like, you got to drop in, babe. Got to drop in.
We're human.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the experience of being human. You know, it's not perfect, but we have the tools to return.
Yeah.
And return to what we're supposed to be doing. So, you know, in that sense, that's why when I say the body doesn't lie, it's always in the body. Always.
Will you tell me what, like, if you're feeling into your body for guidance of anything, what, like, are you able to explain that at all? Like how that resonates, like how it comes up for you, how you know what your body's communicating?
So I think through the years of working with doctors, alternative doctors, knowing the meridian system, and as a dancer, everything was expressed through the body. So that's just for me. But the body language, the body intelligence is a natural thing that's available for everyone. We just have to tap into it. So you're asking me, does my body tell me? Yes, my body tells me. And every day, you know, I'll do a scan before I even get out of bed. You know, where am I tight? Why am I pulling here? Is that male? Is that female? Am I overworking? You know, then the head starts, but then I go back into the body and say, okay, body, talk to me.
I love that. I love that. You know, it's funny because you just saying that, I can just visualize it so well and then just have my own experience with it as you say it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I do a body scan in the morning. I've baby over 40, y'all. It's no fucking joke. Okay. You have to before you even get out of bed because you don't even know if you're going to be able to. But like I get up and I'm like, okay, because I kind of have to set the tone for myself right then in terms of like, am I bitchy? You know, like, how do I need to proceed in the next little bit of time, whatever. So I have to do a body scan, but also it's, you know, whenever I'm teaching people emotional hygiene, that's the first thing I want you to do when you wake up, because you got to be attuned to yourself right when you wake up, you know? And so many people, and myself included in the past, we just turn off that alarm, jump up, get started with our day, never even connecting with ourselves. I mean, to think about that now is like insane to me, but God, that was the world I lived in. I mean, just going about my day on autopilot, never knowing really what's happening inside of me, just kind of doing, but I love to do a body scan. But okay, I want to ask you this. You said, is that male or female? This is not like, I'm pretty familiar with the concept, obviously, but like, I've never asked myself that. Like, will you go into that a little bit?
So, your right side is male, left side
I didn't
is
know that.
Yeah, left side is female.
Okay.
So, where are you pulling? Are you centered? Are you doing male-female connection? Are you intertwining both and?
Okay.
Or are you stressed? Are you pulling more of the male side because your husband or whatever doesn't pulling enough and you feel like you've got to be responsible? So where is that coming from?
And that will create tension on that side?
Yeah, usually.
That makes so much sense to me. Okay.
Yeah. So what is interesting is that, let's say the body on the right side is kind of pulling and tight and twisted or whatever, and you on your agenda you have a lot of very specific things to be doing, and that if you don't finish those specific things, which are male sort of direct, that's a challenge. At the same time, take the challenge.
Okay.
Find that directness in yourself. So you're asking for clarity.
Oh, I love this. Wow. And then when you're asking your body to kind of talk to you, what are you wanting to do with the information? Does that determine how you're going to spend your time that morning?
Well, I work really fast. So
you?
Very, very fast. And so I can get that message very quickly. At the same time, I'm channeling how I'm going to do a meditation for another podcast. At the same time, I'm seeing how it's done. I'm going actually to those other planes. I'm going back into my body to see if it works. So it's one of those, it's choreography on speed.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm channeling and doing and scanning at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's the multiple multi-dimensional aspects of this communication, which we all have access to.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that totally, especially now with the energies the way they are. They're coming in so quickly. So the speed in which we can heal, the speed in which we can communicate authentically is apparent and real.
Yeah.
And with the method, I'm very direct and feminine. So the feminine side is that nothing will exist without love. Nothing.
Yeah.
And that power of that foundation is what humans need. And that's why we live.
Yeah.
Man,
whenever I first realized, because I was a person who just believed that nobody loved me the way I loved them. And I felt on the periphery of all of my relationships and like, I'm nobody's person, blah, blah, all that shit. And then as I started to fill my, childhood holes with love for myself, I remember one day being like, wow, this is why I couldn't feel love from others, is because I didn't feel this for myself. And man, that was powerful to realize that's all love is anyway, is what you cultivate within and share with others. Right. And you have this energetic exchange with people, but the love is yours. That love is yours inherently. And man, that was a big day for me. I've been so lucky to have very rapid shifts over the last year. I made a joke at first. I was serious, but at first I thought I might be in spiritual psychosis because it was happening so fast. and like just new epiphanies, like 3 times a day. I'd be like a totally different person that morning than I was that night. And that would happen every day. And I was like, I don't know if this is normal. And I feel so lucky to have like had that experience, that I'm not going to like torture myself another 40 years to learn the lessons.
Yeah.
Well, I came out of a very desperate mental health crisis. And so I was like, I am willing to learn whatever I have to learn to never return there. And so as the lessons have kind of piled on and been so just magical and finding my own magic, like it's been a really, you can't put words into it, obviously, but that's why I think I still doubt myself a little bit, you know, like where I'm like, I mean, obviously I'm always going to grapple with little weird human self-doubt shit, but I don't know. I've been like, I think I'm just not doing this right or something. I don't know.
I know. But it's just, you know, again, it's just trusting the process, and the process sometimes gets stuck, and that's just the normal thing until it's like a 2-year-old who's toothing, or a 3-month-old who's, you know, going through, you know, teething and all that stuff. It's tense, and then suddenly it goes. So,
oh, what a good analogy. Yeah. That breakthrough is just, it relieves the pain. It relieves the pressure.
Yeah.
Something cool comes out of it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, and I guess that's why the, you know, pressure is what we respond to usually. I mean, I don't know why. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but it took someone the other day reminding me that like you don't learn shit through being happy. You know, like it's only when you're down that you're actually going to be open and receive the things that you're supposed to learn. But I kind of needed that reminder because I again, embarrassed to say this, but I continue to find myself thinking that once I reach this certain level, I will no longer experience this, whatever this is. I keep finding myself learning and deepening my understanding that like, no, bitch, it's going to happen the rest of your life because that's what it's supposed to be, you know? But like when I find myself white knuckling through a situation, I can get kind of mad at myself for that. Cause I'm like, you didn't maintain this. And then, okay, well, I'm a human. So like, you know, when really big shit's happening in my life, I'm probably not going to look like some fucking Zen guru. You know, I'm going to be a little more insulary and isolated because you know, like I was kind of stressed this last week and I have found that, well, I also have major PMS right now, but I was just more agitated and voices were just annoying me. And my oldest kid, who's moved home almost a year ago to go back to school, he's a talker too. And I'm like, I wasn't inviting you to talk to me right now. But, you know, like I get agitated and I judge myself for that. And then when the guy said that to me not that long ago, I was like, okay, I don't have to be mad at myself for still having bad days or a bad week, like where I don't feel good. I'm not what I would call happy. Like I'm at peace and maybe I'm a little stressed, but like if I feel in, I'm good. You know, like I'm still in love with my life. I'm still whatever, but I'm not bubbly and I don't fucking want to talk to people other than like my podcast. You know, like people in my real life, I want them to leave me the fuck alone when I feel like that. I only want to have conversations like this, you know, but like I judge myself so harshly when I have those times because I keep thinking, you know, I'm going to be perfect one day, I guess, is what I just ultimately keep running up against. And the unique ways I continue to learn that is not true is very fun.
Well, it is humorous. I mean, you have to just kind of laugh and say, okay, well, here we go on this roll again. How are we doing today? You know?
Yes, I love that.
I mean, it's like the other day I think it's the full moon because I get very, you know,
me too.
I would say a little more aggressive or whatever, and clear, and because I know this stuff has to leave and we have to shed it in order to keep going. And you know, I can always tell that like something's coming. Like that morning, that okay, I want clarity, and so the clarity was that I was so direct. And my husband, was just like I said, this, and this. This is why this is happening, and this is happening. And excuse me for mentioning this because this is why. And so I was so clear. And so I said, this is not personal to you. This is part of the experience that we're having.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, but he wasn't angry. He was listening. He was actually listening. So it is about energy. It is about how you respond. It is about the self-talk and how you share those words.
Yeah.
And when you share those words, are you checking in with your emotions at the same time? Now that's communication.
And that is a new part of my journey, honestly.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just started a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because my new part, I'm sure you're going to understand what I mean by this. So first I went through the isolation period where I didn't feel safe around most people because I was a little more tender and I was working on shit and I just didn't need any outside shit. And if you weren't super either on the same journey or very sweet and soft with me, I just couldn't, because I was really going through it for a minute. And then as I have leaned into that peace and the knowing and all the things, I've started to be like, well, who should I be okay being around that maybe I haven't been okay for a little while, and why haven't I been okay? And it kind of came down to me going through some shit and finally learning how to share that shit in real time with people. I'm not good at that. That's something I'm really working on. But I found myself being like very reactive to their response to it. And then my initial thought was, this is exactly fucking why I don't tell people, blah, blah, blah. And that just stopped me right there. And I was like, and this is exactly why you needed to do this, because you have to learn. This is the next step. Don't be reactive when people are, maybe they are saying some really wild shit. And, like just learning to create that safety within me is very new. But just in the last 2 weeks, I am constantly, while in conversation, being like, you are safe.
Yeah.
You don't have to fight to be understood,
Right.
all of the things. But before that was my number one shame, how reactive I was to everyone around me. And as I worked on all of the regulation and creating safety within, I couldn't have any practice. Like I wasn't ready for the practice. And now I'm like, you've leveled up to enough to practice now, bitch. Look at you. Like I'm okay with it. And again, the deepening of that information, like how you can relearn something over and over, but in a totally different way. It's amazing to me.
It is. And I think, and of course, we learn through repeat of what we do or don't do. And, I love this expression, love them for who they are and who they aren't. Because not all are going to be like you.
Right.
I remember thinking, well, I know all this stuff and they don't. And, does that make me more special and that I have this information? And, the biggest lesson is that if you can know that it's a gift and if you can be humbled by it, and that everyone else is going through their own stuff, who are you to judge how they should be?
Yeah, and I had to learn that it was really just fear. Really just fear that was keeping me separated, because, the fear in receiving information that I didn't like was, you don't think I can handle things. You're judging the way I'm handling things, or the fear even in a miscommunication, like just a constant fear that probably it was about how I was being perceived by others was
Right.
the key.
Yeah.
And so like I've been trying to think like, okay, I need to quit pushing everyone away, which was something I learned about myself in learning in how emotionally unavailable I was and how avoidant I was, like we all are, unless we're actively working on it. I'm learning new ways that I was avoidant, and my spirituality is part of that now, where I'm like, it doesn't feel safe to be around people who aren't believing in the same things as me. And I think that's why this last couple of weeks, it's been like, bitch, you are being dramatic. It is fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fine to be around people who don't believe the way you do.
Yeah.
And maybe you can teach them, or maybe you just connect on other areas. Like if you love them, you love them. And that's that. Like there doesn't have to be some karmic fucking lesson for either of us, for us to connect in this space and just enjoy each other.
Right.
That's been a journey for me, Fran. That's been a real journey.
I know. So I have something, this is interesting. So when I do these things, I read the energy before, and so I ask, what's calling? What am I to share here?
Yeah.
So I wrote a book called Emergence.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's really pretty. It's got all the chakra colors, and
I love it.
It was channeled. It was a beautiful. A lot of my writing and a lot of other writers are in here, poems, and so I pulled this page.
Oh, I can't wait! Oh my God!
And so I need glasses to read it. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is called Forgiveness. Imagine forgiveness as an impetus to freedom. Forgive and free yourself from all the wrong you think you have done. Patiently wait, allowing this concept to arise and integrate within you. Feel yourself letting go of all judgment. When you are ready, release guilt, shame, blame, or doubt coming from you or others. Bring attention to the inner voice. It can reveal the truth and set you free to unveil a deeper connection to the higher creative self. Experiment with the idea that divine energy is always beside you, waiting to be accepted. Breathe, listen, let go, and live in love. Treasure life's magical experience and witness all that is, while embracing the human connection in love and harmony.
I love that. That was perfect. Because God knows, what really changed my life was being able to identify my shame. And because I didn't know I was so covered in it, and then I'm constantly having to forgive myself for holding myself to that perfectionist standard constantly. And it's funny because I think, I'm always trying to figure out what I could tweak a little bit through a white knuckle period in reflection back on the period. Like what could I have done a little different? And I have to say, I think this last one, forgiveness, I wasn't offering myself that enough to where, because it comes up so much for me where I hold myself to a cross of perfection all the time. And I have to forgive myself for doing that and for not being perfect. It still feels like the ultimate sin to me to not be able to do it all. And that's just all my trauma, and it's fine. But I love that because it's funny how I give this advice to everyone else. I was just telling a client the other day, you need more forgiveness, blah, 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 blah. And then here I am, I need more forgiveness. I really do. And every time I have ever just connected with my heart and been I forgive you for whatever. Oh, the tears, the opening, the cleansing that happens because I need that so much.
You do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Feel better?
Yeah. I really do.
Yeah.
Because
it's
been a rough couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, you're ready now to flush it out and move on.
I am. I feel that. Man. What are you promoting today?
So I'm promoting, FranBaileyHealer.com is my website, and I have my book, I have actually a free download of the method. It's
Ooh.
yeah, it's very good. And it's really about self-inquiry and attentiveness to yourself and et cetera. Some there's meditations, there's all kinds of things on there.
Ooh, I
There are
love
all kinds of meditations for sale that are really cool. There's karma cleanse. There's
Ooh,
it's really, really good.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So I mean, there's all kinds of choices wherever you are in your, path.
Yeah.
So I always work with the chakra system. There's all kinds of podcasts on there, and what else is on there? There's a toolkit, which is I channeled all the chakras and did mandalas.
Wow.
And so you use them, put them on the bed and see where you are. You look at,
Oh,
yeah, it's really cool.
that
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Yeah. So that's a visual. It's also the energy was channeled into each one. So it's just, it's a dive into,
Yeah. You said Fran
finding
Bailey Healing?
FranBaileyHealer.com.
Healer. Okay. And I'll make sure that I include that link in the show notes whenever it's time. And just so you know, before the episode airs, I always do a separate intro. Like I'll read a bio if you have one. If I could remember how the hell we connected, I'd know if I have an email
Well,
or
I'll
some shit.
send
I don't know.
Yeah, I will. I'll send it or have
And you
Kathy
know what's
send.
funny is I do look all this stuff up, and I know that I did know beforehand, but then after I met with someone before you today, all the information just left. So
okay. Well, I'll have her send some stuff to you.
oh yes, it was somebody. Okay, it was fucking Podmatch. I couldn't find your profile. So yeah, your person talked to me on Podmatch.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. So I have all your shit. Thank God.
Oh,
But
okay.
and that's what I was thinking. But I was like, why isn't this on my dashboard? Okay. I'm gonna have to look into why that didn't show up today, because I would have been a lot less frantic when we popped on if I could have just quickly been like, oh, that's right. But I couldn't. So I was like, I'm sorry. I know this is real shitty, but I don't know who you are. So
Anyway,
great.
well, it was good talking to you, and good luck with your future. And
Thank you.
And stay with it. Stay with it.
Thank
just
you.
stay with it.
Well,
You're
I would
doing-
also love to stay connected in
Yeah.
any way possible. Are you active on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll find you and follow you, because I will
Yeah.
also make you. Well, I don't know if they took the collaborator option away, because this morning when I went to promote today's show, that wasn't there. But I'll at least tag you whenever I post the thing on Instagram to promote the episode. So
yeah, it's the Shiva method is my Instagram.
Okay.
The Shiva method.
And usually I will include, so on the show notes, I will include any special links, a website, and Instagram.
Okay.
Yep. So that'll be like direct links that people can click from Spotify, Apple, wherever.
Okay, great. All right. Well, good luck, my dear.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you. This was
Nice
amazing.
nice to meet you. Take care.
Thank you. Have a fabulous Friday.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, make sure you've given the show a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to if you haven't already. And check out my website, empoweredwithmelissahepner.org, or my link tree on Instagram at melissa.hepner to check out my latest offers or workshops.
Emotionally unavailable.
INDEPE and cut.